the next question is yours.
Would it have been okay if Chan didn't invite Malia to his sister's wedding? Do you think Malia would have been okay with that? I think there is a double standard for women and men when it comes to inviting prospective partners to family functions. Ooh, I'm gonna let you answer that one.
Do I think it's a double standard?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, they're just getting to know each other, and
right.
You know, and if Malia got, you just get married, why are you upset? Sis, like we just started dating. I didn't want to put that kind of
pressure. Like, is she crazy? But
I wouldn't want to put that kind of pressure on you. And I like if it was me and somebody had an attitude, I'd be like, well, I haven't even met your family, so I didn't think you would want to be coming to this function, and this is our coming out as a couple when. Literally you've never introduced me to your family. I haven't introduced my family. As the relationship progresses on, definitely we're going to meet family, friends, and all that. But we haven't even met each other's friends. So why would I just throw you into a freaking wedding? No. Right. Double standard? Depending on the people, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't be offended if I wasn't asked to go to a wedding, and I probably wouldn't want to go if I haven't already had small meet and greets with your people.
Yeah. I was about to say, I would have thought that would have been crazy, even if she were to get mad. Like, you didn't invite me to your sister's wedding after it's all too new. Weddings and stuff, we just gonna leave that. Actually, I don't even think that's the activity you do while you're dating, to be honest. Well, after you're married, yeah, you and your spouse could go support your friend, blah 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 blah. But yeah.
You got somebody a month and a half, 2 months, absolutely not.
Right. Yeah, because we do have people that stay engaged for like years. So, I guess in that case too. But no, it's too new.
None of that. It's all just too new. You know what I mean?
Right. There might be some men that have invited, a woman to a wedding. I know somebody that would.
And I don't want to be in a position where I get invited somewhere and I'm still learning you, and then everybody's like, you always show up with somebody on your but then it kind of lets you know how some people move. How when they're out, they always got a woman on their arm with them. I don't think it's a double standard. I just feel like some people will make a big deal out of it, but because they're petty, I wouldn't make a big deal if I wasn't invited to some place. Like I want to meet your family and friends in small batches.
And really, it's just going to be like the immediate family that I actually pay attention to, because once we start getting around aunties and uncles and they start asking stuff, depending on the situation, I'm not saying nothing. They'll be like, oh, so where are you from? But like I pay attention to the immediate family. I figure those are the ones that have the most influence. But if I'm in a situation like that, especially where I've been around for a few times or whatever, and I don't feel like it's something shady, I'll say something. I won't sit there like Silent Sam completely.
Says it was an eye-opening to read how Eva and her sister Ari were treated by Rose City Society for being mixed with an Asian mom. If this relationship between Chan and Malia produces kids, how do you think they will be treated? First and foremost, Chan got money and Malia's gonna live a great lifestyle. You think they'll be worried about what them folks down the street talking about?
Okay.
Not gonna happen. Malia and Chan would be in their own little world with their own family. So that's that. I do think it was eye-opening to hear about Ari and Eva's background growing up. Sometimes, yeah, because their mother was an outsider. So
because she was Asian, or just because she didn't have
both?
Me. Both. Yep.
So I think that everybody has different experiences with different things. So I'd like to know a little bit more about how their upbringing was and how did they finally, I guess, gain acceptance, or just maybe like, people sometimes can make little snarky comments like, what is your mom making for Thanksgiving?
You already know. Like, yeah.
So for us, it's gonna be like macaroni and cheese, cornbread dressing, a ham, some turkey, sweet potato pies on deck, you know what I'm saying? Peach cobbler, pineapple upside down cake, just certain things are staples, greens.
We tore down, and this is now our new little thing. I go over to Karina's house with the kids and we do our Thanksgiving. But yeah, we sure did throw down with the mac and cheese, the turkey, ham, bean, all that. And I'm like, hold on. because we ain't the only folks in the building. So yeah, but
my dad was such a good looking guy, but when he decided he wanted to get like really serious, he was like, I need somebody who shares my culture. And he was like, and your mama throws down in the kitchen. My dad was wild. He thought that was wild. It blew his mind, you know.
I'm like, you think everybody cooks the exact same thing on Thanksgiving? But in our culture, yeah, that's what we do. And I'm sure a lot of other cultures do it too. But no, I had like a Filipino friend, and she was talking about all this stuff, and it wasn't like, you know, our usual spread. And I'm like, well, maybe for them, that's what they do.
Yeah, we have Southern style Thanksgivings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it definitely is interesting. Don't get it twisted, baby. We eating good. So,
eating good over here
in the neighborhood.
Agree with you. Now, and I promise I read this, but I'm trying to remember like any mistreatment, so to speak. Maybe snarky remarks, but mistreatment.
I didn't go into like what the treatment was, but
right.
They were just saying, you know, sometimes people were treated a little differently, you know, or maybe like, you know,
money. But yeah, we found out it was both of them.
Remember we talked about even with Mike and him marrying Bianca Ortega, right? She came from money, so it wasn't like that. From Rose City, and he wasn't African American, and so he did it, and plus he moved away, and everybody's like, okay, so he couldn't have married one of us, you know what I mean? So he came back home, and everybody's like, sharks came out in the water. They was ready to bite him, right? Stuck on Malia supposedly, but he's really not. It's a mess. But again, there's a lot of grace for men to date other people, right? And then when it comes to women, that's not always so much. You know what I mean? It's always like, well,
especially us. I'm gonna say it with African American women. When we go outside, now when the guys date, not only do they date outside their race, but they gotta tear everybody down in the process. We just be like, hey, we like who we like, and I don't care, right? And blah blah blah. When you sit there like, yeah, you know, because you know, I can't deal with black men because black men, you know, we don't have whole podcasts about it.
No.
But yeah, anytime we step outside the race, all the passport bros and high value men get on their podcast talking about how, you know, we're not deserving of anything. We don't even deserve to live. Stop breathing. You should have ceased to exist because they can't take it. But yeah. Those high value bros.
We could laugh about it because a lot of it's so ridiculous. It's like crazy as hell, you know. So
the men were all high value. The passport high value bros, you know.
You know, and I will say that social media really frames things, and that's what you see a lot of. And if you're not careful, it's like, damn, is this how everybody thinks? You know what I mean? And then when you meet people, you're like, oh, so refreshing, you know, to meet somebody who's not talking. Submit to me. It was almost on the day. Women, you gonna submit to me? You gonna submit? I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
He was always on that submission stuff, and I was like, so you gonna skip the part of the Bible where it talks about loving your wife like Christ loved the church and be willing to give your life?
They didn't read that part.
Your wife and all this type of stuff, and so I guess that would be simping, right? That other part of it, and so I just never understood it because I was always like, listen, when you show up and you do what you're supposed to do, any woman in her right mind.
It just comes naturally.
She gonna give you whatever you need.
That's one thing the ex did say. Actually, yeah, that was the first time I had heard that. I had never heard submit, blah, blah, blah. No, I've never heard of, you know, a wife submitting to a husband or nothing like that. And I remember like during it was after an argument. And he's like, no, because, you know, and I love the fact that you're submissive. I was like, what? I'm what? What? I didn't know if it was time to argue again because I ain't never heard, you know. So I'm just, you know, and I wasn't even being treated right. But I guess, like, you know, when you're in your, I don't want to sound so fucking social media, you know, the soft girl era, they always say, or whatever, you know, it just comes out naturally, I think, when you're in love, because I can't even say I was treated right. So and that's what made it come out. Like, no, because I was, you know, I was well treated and it just blew up. But I just think just as a woman, you know, it could come out.
I'm going to say that if you're in a situation where, you know, you don't feel like somebody's respecting your opinion or your authority, or every time you have an opinion. It's always like, no, I'm gonna do it this way because I've been on my own. It's like, then that's the relationship you want to be in. And I'm gonna also say, I'm sick and tired of hearing about how I don't need you for this. I know you don't need me, but you want me, and that's what I want. You know,
right?
What I always tell people is that nobody needs anybody, but it's more powerful to be wanted than to be needed. Right. Because, and I've argued with my male friends about this because they're like, no, women, you need to need him. No. You don't want a hobo, right? You don't want nobody to need you. You want somebody to want you, because when somebody wants you, it's greater than any need, because once that need is met or fulfilled, then maybe that's when they don't need you anymore, right?
Right.
But when they want you, it doesn't matter. I want you, and that's just what it is. I'm just like a moth to a flame. I want you. I want you. I want you. Not I. Well, I need him because I gotta get these bills paid. Well, I need him to help me with the kid. No. You don't want to be needed. You want to be wanted.
Wanted.
It's a whole different level of sexy and grown-upness right there, baby. Like, you want to be wanted. You know what I mean? And so. Yeah, but when the whole idea of the, submissive and all this, I feel like if everybody does what everybody's supposed to do, you ain't got to be worried about if somebody's fighting you on where are we going to take this car to get it fixed. Because, baby, I don't care about certain things like that. You know what I'm saying? No, I got a better quote. I'm not getting a quote from nowhere.
Like, you got this. That's all you, bro.
Baby, like, okay, well, you want to buy that type of car? Okay, as long as it runs good for me. I don't, it's not going to buy. Now, if you have a
and it's in the budget. Don't be blowing all our shit.
You have your own job, and you're like, well, no, I really, really want this Audi. Then you know what I mean, and you can pay for it. Then that's fine. Or he says he's gonna buy you a vehicle, but not like Reese's T-shirt where he was playing games and taking her down to the car lot and then didn't get nothing. That was crazy. Oh my god,
that's wild, bro. That's wild.
But yeah, so again, when you do right by each other and there's real love there and people care about you, maybe. I don't want to fight with you.
Right. Everything just kind of falls in place. You're not performing, Rub
my back, touch my thigh. I don't want to be in the fight. Like, who wants to be fighting all the time?
That's exhausting. I'll be like, this ain't gonna work for me.
This won't work. Like, in love. None of that other stuff.
Bankroll. Ain't no place I can't go. Nothing I can't buy. I'm too goddamn fly, super fragilistic, it's reality. Bankroll so vicious like halitosis. Bitches, they striking, they posing them.
All right, so final one. But this, I know we gotta wrap it up. But like you said, with Chan and Malia's kids being treated weird because of it, I mean, there's gonna be so much money and stuff. They probably ain't gonna be around the other kids, to be honest. They will probably be in private schools and nannies, blah blah blah. They'll be taking trips, getting stamps on their passports.
Well, we want to hang out with Malia and Chan. They'll be looking to get around,
right? If anything. So I don't think their kids would be treated any kind of way.
They wouldn't care anyway. They'd be like, well, we out here in the world
doing Daddy ain't having it, and neither is Uncle Russell.
Uncle Russell, baby, come through with that arm.
Okay, I need that Russell. Okay, so the final question is Malia underestimating the power of the families in Rose City? Would that be a mistake on her part? I don't think she's underestimating them. She knows exactly what people there are capable of. And it's probably why it plays a part in how she moved the way she moved, and trying not to be part of society, so to speak. She's not running in those inner circles because she knows how these people are, how vicious they could be.
Yes.
I definitely don't think she's underestimating them. If anything, she's playing it smart. She know where she's from. She knew them people around her, so no mistake there. She know what she's dealing with. Even with Mike himself, pulling this crap on Chan after getting dumped it or getting soup dumped, however that went.
He's dunked in it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden she don't even know all the facts. It was like, oh my god, I don't even think she know about that yet. But she, he's a DA and mama's boy and whatever.
Yeah, it's mama's boy, baby.
Yeah, got money they could put in. One rumor can go like just how she know everybody when she was ready to read everybody to the gods. She had all them receipts on deck, like, oh yeah, and your man is this, and you did blah 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 blah. So she know what she know what she dealing with. So no, I don't think she's underestimating the people at all. Because it's not just like gossip. Like these folk got some money. Like stuff can happen. a whole Netflix series could happen. So, yeah, I don't think she's underestimating.
I fully agree with everything you say. I don't think Malia has underestimated the people in Rose City and their power, their influence. I think she's become very calculated and decided, hey, I don't want to be involved with these people because she knows what they're capable of doing. I think that's why, like Alicia says, she moves the way she moves. There's between herself and them, because she's seen how they have literally eaten other people up and then chewed them up and spit out the bone. Like they disintegrated people. They have torn apart people's lives, people's families. They have caused firestorms just out of like, I'm bored. Let's do something. Right. Let's mess somebody else up. So Malia is definitely well aware of what these people can do and what they will do, and she doesn't want any parts of it. And I believe she's calculating more than I think that her friends and family members realize. I think part of them feels like Malia maybe is just rebelling. Maybe she's just like, she's still young. She's only 27 years old. You know what I mean? Will she feel like this in 20 years at 47? Will she still be looking at Rose City the way she's looking at Rose City now? Or will she have come into the fold and accepted her position and married Mike and his high valuedness, or somebody else around there with some high valuedness? Like, you know what I mean? So I think they don't want Malia to shoot herself in the foot and then leave herself with no options if she wants to come back to this lifestyle. But Malia doesn't want to. And I think that that's the part that they haven't fully grasped yet, that Mike breaking up with her was actually a good thing. It really woke her up in a lot of ways, because when they broke up, she got blamed. Well, you did something wrong, and now he's in California, and he's legacy, and what did you do? You ran him off. So she really caught a good glimpse of what they thought of her. And she got blamed for the breakup. She wasn't invited to the different social things because now she was hot and single on the market. Nobody wanted her, nobody trusted her around their men. So I think that all of it really just woke her up to, if this is what they can do to me now, what else will they do to me later on? You know what I mean? Because what if she was to marry somebody else and then at 40 got a divorce? She would be ousted again. Like, how many times she gonna get ousted from the community?
How many times must we go through this, Miss Moja?
Especially if you're an attractive person, you know what I mean? Now, if she was unattractive, nobody would care. Like, we feel bad for her, and just he left her.
She'll be all right.
But honey, you come through and that body is snatched. Oh, okay. No, she can't come over here.
Right. We're not doing this.
No. You can't come back over here. So I think that's what it is. But that is our discussion on Rose City. And my voice, I think, is trying to leave me. So I'd be surprised if I wake up in the morning if I still have a voice.
Been fading a little bit over the past hour or so.
Right. I've been laughing so much. But anyway, we hope that you enjoy our discussion on Chapter 50, Girls Night in Part 1. So there will be a Part 2. So don't forget to tune in. And don't just tune in, but read along with us, because there's so many things that happen in the story that we can't go over in total detail because that would defeat the purpose. So we kind of we have questions and we answer those to the best of our abilities. If you haven't already started reading the book, baby, what you waiting for? Mommy needs you to go out there and read. You know what I mean? So there's no reason for you not to be plugged in. We're sure you'll be hooked. We'll be hooked because we're here. So we love hearing from our readers. So, add your thoughts, your questions, your concerns, your theories to the chat right here, or head over to Rose City, the after show on Facebook or IG. All links will be provided in the description. Again, thanks for tuning in to Rose City. We'll see you again next week. Bye.